Welcome back everyone to the third and final episode of restoring this child's antique rocking chair. In this episode we're going to be staining, caning, and finishing. If you haven't seen the first two episodes where we repair the chair and build a new back, please take a look at those on our channel. We begin the finishing process by spraying it with water to raise the grain and then sanding off the fuzzies that result. The first step is to color the back to try to match the rest of the chair. I start by using some translucent dyes in water with various colors. Here I'm applying the first coat of the final finish with some added pigment to accentuate the open pores of the oak. The rest of the chair gets a straight coat of the final finish, which is Osmo Polyx. The areas that I fixed with glue and sawdust didn't take up the final finish like the rest of the wood, so I'm using a Sharpie to blend it in. Several coats of finish on both the chair and the back. I think we've come pretty close to matching the two. There was a lot of work in getting the red oak to match the chair, which I think is probably white oak or maybe it's just old. The red oak has quite a bit of pink color to it, and the rest of the chair did not. So I started with some translucent dye in water. This is a dark mission brown, and that helped, but it was a little too reddish. So I went with another coat of coffee brown, also in water, and that helped quite a bit. But then what I found is that the back didn't have any pigment in the open pores of the oak like the rest of the chair does. So I mixed in some pigment to the first coat of top coat, which really helped. And then After that, I use some dark vintage maple in subsequent coats to try to give it a little bit more amber color and bring it closer to the rest of the chair. Now I could have used one of these all-in-one stains, which includes both dyes and pigments, which would color the background of the wood as well as fill in the pores with a nice color. But it would probably be tricky to find one that had the right dye and stain, so I'd probably end up mixing and matching and doing a lot of samples. In the end, staining a piece of wood to match something else involves quite a bit of alchemy, and it's given me a newfound respect for people who do this for a living, like Thomas Johnson over at Thomas Johnson Antique Furniture Repair and Trenna over at John's Furniture Repair. If you have a chance, give them a look on YouTube. For the finish, I used one of these newer hard wax oil finishes, which are relatively non-toxic once they're completely cured. And the other advantage is they're easy to apply, and if they need to be repaired, they're super easy to repair. The original finish most likely was a shellac type finish, which involves spraying, and I didn't want to do that. So the next step is to cane the seat. So I bought one of these caning kits that has everything you need to do that. So I'll be reading up on that, and we'll work on that next. The cane needs to be soaked in water for at least 20 minutes. The instructions I have call for starting with the front to back strands and working to one side. The cane has a tendency to kink easily, so take your time and make sure there are no twists before you pull it tight. Once the front to back strands are complete, the instructions call for running strands side to side. No need to weave these, just run them on top. When the length of a strand runs out, just tie it off and start with a new one. Next, I run a second row of strands front to back. Again, no weaving needed, just run them on top. The second row of side-to-side strands is where the weaving actually begins. The strands are woven over and under each row of front-to-back strand. This part can really take some patience. I found that if you go over and under multiple rows at a time, it'll speed things up, but any more than 3, it gets too hard to pull through.
I also found that this is the most difficult part. It gets easier from here. Now we start on the diagonal rows. But since the space between the vertical and horizontal pairs of rows is larger, it's much easier. The last step in the process is to apply the binding cane, which dresses up the perimeter and hides the holes. As a final step in the restoration, I'm applying this brass plaque that my wife's cousin had made to commemorate the chair. Well, that's it for the series on restoring the antique child's rocking chair. If you like this video, please like, share, and subscribe. And if you'd like to be notified when our next episode comes out, press that notification button. Until then, thanks for watching.